Well, hello to everybody who's been kind enough to show up so far here on this TikTok Live. I am preparing a birthday cake this morning, so I figured I might as well do it live. It kind of gives me the incentive. I find that I like doing these things live. This is going to be a vanilla cake, and vanilla cake is probably one of the most easy and basic cakes you can make, although there is one thing that I've learned that will help to make the best vanilla cake, and that is to use cake flour and to actually measure and sift the flour. I know people tend to not like doing that. They would prefer something easy like dumping a couple of cups of the flour into the bowl. And that does work, but I think this gives you a much more lighter vanilla cake. That means this calls for 433 grams of cake flour. So I've got my scale, got a bowl, and I've got this little thingy here, this little sieve sifter that does a wonderful job, not just sifting flour, but also rice, or I should say washing rice. So no unitaskers here. I'll get started. Essentially, we've got to measure 233 grams of this stuff. Don't want to spill this thing. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, you too. Alright, good enough. Now that we've done that, we can get on to more typical steps for making a cake. 2 teaspoons baking powder and 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. 1, 2, 1, that's a quarter, 2, that's 2/4, and 3/4. Oh yeah, and 1 teaspoon of salt, and that covers it for the dry ingredients. Whisk together these dry ingredients so that they're incorporated, and we've got a little bit of air in this in these dry ingredients as well. All of this should help to contribute to a more fluffy cake. So I do have one other thing to do here, and that is prepare 5 eggs, specifically 3 eggs and 2 egg whites. 1, 2, come on. Oh, good grief. There we go. 3. Yep, and there goes the shell. What a surprise. The trick is you use shell to get shell. Now to separate. So let's take this off. And oh so carefully. Plop. Not, whoop, careful, not too fast. That allows me to pour out, well, most of the egg white. The rest of this in there. Bam, there you have it. 2 egg whites, which I will give to my cats. Now comes the fun part. Comes the mixing bowl. Softened butter, 3 sticks of softened butter. 1, 2, and 3. Plop. And pre-measured earlier this morning, 2 cups of sugar. Put this in. And goes our paddle. Up we go. Here we go. I'm only doing it, as you can see, on low to medium speed here. That's all we really need. A little bit there, a little bit there. To this, we add a full tablespoon of vanilla extract, because after all, this is a vanilla cake. 1.5 cups of buttermilk. Now it's time to start adding in the dry ingredients. Boy, doesn't that look yummy. Actually, it smells great. Scrape off the sides. And with that, now we get ready for the secret ingredient, a 3. There we go, a large cast iron fluted cake pan, as they call it. Boy, this thing is still smoking all right, which means gotta get started here. All we really need is maybe about a tablespoon or so of Crisco. Scoop up a nice big dab. And start spreading it over every inch of the inside. It's time now for the batter, which means I gotta get my gloves back on. Get the cake batter, or the extra oil into the cake batter. In goes the batter. The real tricky part here is not making a mess. Seems like almost every time a little bit of batter goes down the center hole, and I don't want that to happen. Okay, that means now, again, we have to be fast. A 1, a 2, a 3. Now the next thing we do immediately to 350 degrees. That way the oven will cool as the cake bakes. All right, our cake has been in the oven for 50 minutes. That means it's time to get the gloves on and see the results. This cake is surprisingly level too. I like that. So far, so good. Oh yeah. I would say this cake is done. That means we can turn off the oven and let it cool for 20 minutes. Hello and welcome back to what I call the moment of truth. Will this cake stick coming out of the pan or not? This never gets old, largely because I never know if it's going to be a success or not. I can only hope. After all, this is meant to be a birthday cake, and I hope I haven't jinxed it by saying that. Anyway, all we have to do is loosen the edges of the cake. 6, 7, 8. And with that, lifting handles, which have helped in getting this heavy cast iron pan off the ground. Okay, now, I say the same thing every time. It's now or never. Move this over. Gotta make sure these handles don't come off. Press down nice and hard, and haha. There we go. So now, whatever works. Okay, that means, as they like to say, a 1, a 2, a 3. Ha-ha! Nice! Yeah, this definitely turned out good. Okay, that means we are going to have a birthday cake today. Oh yeah, like I said, this never gets old. The suspense gets me every time. But man, I am very, very happy with the results. This cake looks very clean, and the cast iron pan is pretty clean too. So yeah, there was very, very little sticking. I'm definitely calling this one a success. It means now all we have to do is let the cake cool off and decorate it.